الجمعية السعودية الأمريكية الخاصة، وباسم أخونا رئيس الجمعية الأستاذ أمين حزنوي وأمين الجمعية الأستاذ محمد العدساني. معمل سوف نناقش تحليل السلوك التطبيقي وما هي آلية تنفيذه. أيضا سوف نناقش كيف يساعد السلوك التطبيقي في تعديل السلوكيات المصاحبة للاضطراب التوحد. وأيضا سوف نناقش ما هي العناصر الأساسية لخطة التدخل السلوكي وكيفية إنشائه.
أولا دائما خصوصا بيكون في تواصل بين الناس المهتمة في المجال العلمي والثقافي مع الأسر عشان يكون في جانب تطبيقي.
There for the whole thing. So here's a question. What does it take to get people to change? And I'm not talking about their socks and underwear, but change behavior, especially when it's hard. For example, every year close to 100,000 people die from hospital-acquired infections. That means people got sick at the hospital. And it turns out one of the main culprits is hand hygiene. That means just getting people to wash their hands could save lives. So my crack research team decided to conduct an experiment to see if we could change something as difficult as hand washing habits, only with the toughest subjects of all, kids. So here's what we did. We took 80 munchkins and put them into groups. First, we gave them a challenging puzzle to put together. You know, kind of like the projects you adults are always busy with. Then, we gave the kids a tempting distraction.
Hey guys, I got the cupcakes for you right here. They're delicious. Right over here.
Once I see that you guys have put the whole puzzle together correctly, I'll raise my flag, just like this, and then I'll blow my whistle. Okay? And when I do that, you guys can all go and get your cupcake. So what would it take to get these kids to wash their hands? How about a good reason? So one thing you guys should know, there was a sick kid in here playing with the puzzle pieces. He had a runny nose and coughed a lot, so there's probably a lot of germs on everything. But there's hand sanitizer over there on the table that you can use to wash up. Okay, which will win now? Delicious frosted cupcakes or the fear of a typhoid toddler? Let's watch. They finished their task, and look, if the threat of one sick kid wasn't enough, just look at all the new germs popping up. So with all those good reasons to wash, what do you think they'll do? Okay, so that was a colossal failure. Now what? Well, at this point, most adults would quit. That's why you just keep changing the year on those New Year's resolutions. With the next group of kids, I changed the environment by moving the hand sanitizer closer, and then put up a visual cue. This ought to make hand washing easier and more obvious, right? And in the end, the motivation to not get sick plus changing the environment didn't influence a single kid. Yikes! Next, I increased their ability, which is another source of influence. I had them all complete what is known as deliberate practice, or training, to increase their familiarity with good hand hygiene. Will adding another source of influence get these hand-washing offenders to wash up? Done. And well, now we're seeing some better results. We're combining 3 different sources of influence, and some of the kids are actually washing their hands. It looks like we're on the right track. So next, I added another source of influence, social influence. What if somebody spoke up and said something? What would happen if their bosses were in the room with them? Here come the cupcakes. And there goes the flag. Will they wash? No! Look at them pouncing on those cupcakes like a pack of ravenous hyenas. But it's not too late, because something important happens. At just a critical moment, a peer, not even one of the bosses, speaks up.
Wash your hands.
Watch the effect.
عندنا هنا نبغى نصلحه اللي هو الصراخ. ونبغى عندنا طرق معينه زي ما قلنا نبغى نطلع عن طريق الطرق هذه نبغى نشوف بالضبط ليش الطفل جالس يصارخ. الحين هذا مثال جدا بسيط وواضح زي ما قلت. يعني انه الطفل جالس يصارخ اللي يحصل على اتنشن. وعندنا في مجال تحليل التطبيقي عندنا 4 اغراض رئيسيه او يعني كاتيجوريز بشكل عام لحدوث السلوك. وهذه طبعا مدروسه في مجال خفض السلوك. هذه يعني 4 مدروسه علميا، اكبر العلماء الموجودين حاليا في تخصص التحليل التطبيقي، وعنده عيادات من نيويورك، عنده في دبي اتوقع عياده، عنده عيادات مختلفه، لكن هو من في مجال اللغه والتواصل بالذات هو من اكثر الناس اللي بحث المجال وعندهم يعني جانب عملي في عياداتهم. فخلينا نسمع منهم، يعني جدا قيم ان احنا نشوف المثال ونشارك تطور عن المثال. واعتقد من الناس اللي يعني الانجليزيه عندهم او اللغه التقنيه اللي موجوده في الفيديو ما هي واضحه، لكن ان شاء الله نحاول نوضح.
Discrete trial instruction is an important method for teaching children with autism. There are many studies documenting the benefits of this method. This method generally includes a teacher sitting with a student, with a learner, with a child with autism. The teacher has materials and information that they would like to provide to the student. The student usually sits across a table. The teacher presents the instructional material, and when children are unable to or have not yet learned to respond to the material, the teacher will prompt the response and help the child to learn the skill. It's been found to be a very important method for teaching children.
As Asma said, I am the coordinator of the Applied Behavior Analysis program at George Mason University. That's where you can go and do what we do and learn how to do what we do and serve people wherever you might want to go, because we do have people internationally. I think really the only place that we don't have a lot of people is probably in applied behavior analysis is in Europe, but as you can see, there's a lot of people in Saudi Arabia, but we would love to expand out. There's always a need for more, which is very, very important. So I want to start off with a presentation that was created by the Behavior Analyst Certification Board, and it's a really nice overview of behavior analysis. It'll be some things will be repeated, but I think you'll find that there's some new stuff in here.
What is behavior analysis? It's about people and the scientific study of their learning and behavior. Over 100 years ago, the underlying philosophy of behavior analysis was introduced. The best way to understand people is to focus on their behavior, the things they do and say. Over the next few decades, this viewpoint inspired a number of researchers who discovered the general reasons why people do what they do. Their core discovery was that the events immediately following behavior determine whether it will be repeated in the future. This is known as the principle of reinforcement. In the 1950s and 60s, researchers began using these discoveries to improve people's lives through behavior change. These efforts led to the development of an applied science called Applied Behavior Analysis, or ABA, the foundation of our modern-day practice. Today, there are tens of thousands of credentialed behavior analysts who help individuals, families, communities, and organizations achieve meaningful behavior change. ABA treatment has shown to be effective in solving problems in a variety of areas. ABA is best known for its success in treating autism spectrum disorder. Decades of research have shown that intensive ABA treatment is the most successful approach for children with autism, and in some cases can eliminate almost all symptoms. ABA treatment has been widely recognized as an effective treatment for autism spectrum disorder by a number of sources, including the U.S. Surgeon General, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the National Institute of Mental Health. Parent training programs based on applied behavior analysis often teach biological and foster parents the skills they need to create safe, positive, and nurturing environments for their children. Recent research has shown that state-administered ABA parent training programs can keep families together while reducing state costs. In the area of organizational behavior management, consultants improve employee performance, workplace culture, and business outcomes by assessing and changing the work environment of its employees and leaders. A popular specialty in this area is behavior-based safety, which is a widely recognized and effective method for keeping employees safe and healthy while on the job. In dementia treatment and elder care, behavior analysts treat aging-related issues such as memory problems, health issues, wandering, medication adherence, and more.
Behavior analysis with, and they find out all these things that ABA does, but a lot of people come in through the autism realm, I would say. And what are some things that we do? We definitely work with families a lot. That's where we do most of our work. It's not just families of kids with autism. It can be families, like they were saying about foster care. Sometimes you'll have children who have some significant behavioral issues or mental health issues. We can go in and help with some parenting skills there. So we work with families. We work in homes a lot. Again, we work in the mental health sphere a lot. I was just working in with the mental health day program for people with adults with significant mental illness, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, to increase more activities within that program, increase people's participation in that program. So we do work with people who have mental health diagnoses. Of course, we work with autism. You've heard a wonderful presentation on that, so I won't belabor that point. Again, we work with weight loss. We work with organizations